What if I told you that the way you've been trying to pay off debt is actually keeping you broke? And what if I told you that people earning under $40,000 a year are getting debt-free faster than six-figure earners using this one method? You'd probably think I'm selling you some course or clickbait nonsense, but here's the thing. This is backed by Harvard researchers, behavioral psychologists, and thousands of real people who've crushed their debt in under 2 years. Even while working retail jobs, gig economy hustles, and living in one of the most expensive times in modern history, because let's be real, 2025 has been absolutely brutal. We're living in a world where a Chipotle burrito costs $15, your phone has 23 different $4.99 subscriptions you forgot existed, and Klarna is sending you payment reminders like a clingy ex. The average American is juggling buy now, pay later debt, credit card balances, and somehow still convinced that girl math justifies buying another $3 item from Temu because it's basically free, right? Wrong. Hi, I'm Matt. On this channel, I break down personal finance strategies, debt payoff methods, and wealth building tactics for real people living on real incomes. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to give you a proven plan to pay off debt fast, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck. If that sounds good, hit that subscribe button because we're about to dive deep into the debt snowball method, and I promise you, this is the last debt video you'll ever need to watch. Let's get into it. Step 1. Why debt snowball beats every other method. All right, before we get into the how, we need to talk about the why, because chances are you've heard about the debt avalanche method. It sounds epic, right? With the debt avalanche, you pay off debts from highest interest rate to lowest, regardless of balance. On paper, this sounds like smart math. Your $8,000 credit card at 24% APR is costing you way more than your $1,200 afterpay at 0%. So mathematically, you should attack high interest debt first. Makes sense, right? Here's the problem. Debt isn't a math problem, it's a behavior problem. Let me introduce you to Cameron. Cameron is 27, makes $38,000 a year working retail with delivery driving on the side. He's got $18,000 in debt, credit cards, a car loan, Klarna and afterpay payments that multiplied like rabbits, and medical debt from when he thought he could skateboard at 26. Spoiler, he could not. Cameron tried the debt avalanche. He attacked his $8,000 credit card with a 24% interest rate, throwing $400 a month at it. For 3 months, he was comped, but after 3 months, he'd only knocked it down to $7,200. He looked at his debt list and thought, I'm still drowning. This isn't working. So he gave up, went back to minimum payments, started doom spending on FanDuel because the economy's bad anyway, might as well have fun. 2 years later, Cameron still has $15,000 in debt and zero motivation. This is where the debt snowball method changes everything. With the debt snowball, you pay off debts from smallest to largest balance, completely ignoring interest rate. I know what you're thinking. Matt, that's financially irresponsible. I'm losing money on interest. And mathematically, you might pay a couple $100 more in interest. But here's what you gain: momentum, motivation, and actual results. Harvard Business Review studied this phenomenon and found that people who focus on small wins are significantly more likely to finish their debt payoff journey. You're not a robot. You're not a spreadsheet. You're a human with emotions, and when you see that $1,200 balance disappear in 2 months, you get a dopamine hit that makes you want to keep going. That's the magic of the debt snowball method. You're not just paying off debt, you're rewiring your brain to believe you can win. And that belief is worth way more than the $200 you might save with the avalanche method, only to quit halfway through and stay in debt forever. So if you're serious about getting debt-free fast, even on a low income, the debt snowball is your weapon. Period. Step 2. Calculate your debt-free date. Yes, really. Here's something nobody tells you when you're drowning in debt. You can actually calculate the exact date you'll be debt-free. Not a rough estimate, not a someday, an actual date on the calendar. And once you see that date, everything changes. Here's the formula. Take your total debt, divide it by how much you can throw at it each month, and boom, you've got your timeline. Let's say you have $12,000 in total debt, and you can scrape together $500 a month to attack it. That's 24 months, 2 years. That means if you start today in late 2025, you'll be completely debt-free by late 2027. Not someday, not when I get a raise. Late 2027. And here's the beautiful part. You can speed that up. Let's say you pick up 1 weekend shift a month at your job, or you sell some stuff cluttering your apartment, or you cancel half of those 23 micro subscriptions draining $186 out of your account every month. Suddenly, you're throwing $650 at your debt instead of $500. Now you're debt-free in 18 months. By mid-2027, you're free. Do you understand how powerful that is? You're not wandering in the dark anymore. You've got a finish line. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train, it's financial freedom. In 3 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to structure your debt list to maximize this momentum. But first, you need to write down your debt-free date. Grab your phone, open your calendar, put a reminder for your projected debt-free date, and label it Freedom Day. Because that's what it is. That's the day you stop working for Visa and start working for yourself. By 2026, you could be halfway there. Imagine starting 2026 knowing you're not adding more debt, you're demolishing it. That's what this method does.
Step 3. List your debts, smallest to largest. All right, here's where the magic starts. Grab a piece of paper, open a notes app, whatever. Just get your debt list in front of you. And I want you to list every single debt you owe, from smallest balance to largest balance. Not by interest rate, not by who's calling you the most, smallest to largest. Let me show you what this looks like with someone who actually did this and won. Meet Maya. Maya is 28, makes $41,000 a year working customer service with an Etsy side hustle. When she started in early 2024, she had $16,000 in total debt. Credit cards, student loans, Klarna payments from when she thought a $400 stand mixer in 4 installments was basically free, and a medical bill. Here's what Maya did. She listed everything from small afterpay balances to high-interest credit cards. Her smallest debt, an $890 afterpay balance. Now you might be thinking, Matt, what about the high-interest credit cards? This makes no sense. And you'd be right if this were a math problem. But it's not. It's a psychology problem. Maya knocked out that $890 afterpay balance in 6 weeks. She canceled subscriptions she forgot existed, picked up extra Etsy orders, sold an old Apple Watch, and threw every dollar at that $890. When it hit zero, something clicked. She told me, I just paid off my first debt. I actually feel like I can do this. That's the debt snowball effect. That's the momentum that keeps you going when your friends are at overpriced concerts and you're at home attacking debt like your life depends on it. Because 2025 has been brutal. Buy now, pay later apps have convinced an entire generation that debt isn't really debt if it's split into 4 payments. Sports betting apps make you feel one bet away from being rich. Your subscription list is longer than a CVS receipt. And everyone on social media looks like they're living their best life while secretly drowning in credit card debt. Maya ignored all of it. She went full under-consumption core, not as some TikTok aesthetic, but as her actual reality. And she crushed it. By fall 2025, 19 months after she started, Maya was completely debt-free. Now she's investing that $680 a month she was throwing at debt. She's building wealth. So list your debts, smallest to largest, ignore the interest rates, trust the process. If you've stuck with me this far, you're already ahead of 80% of people watching this video. Most people will click away and go back to doom scrolling their bank account. But not you. You're here because you're serious about getting debt-free fast, even on a low income. Step 4. Build your $1,000 starter emergency fund. Okay, pause. Before you start attacking debt like a maniac, we need to talk about the one thing that derails most people's debt payoff journey: emergencies. Because life doesn't stop just because you're trying to get debt-free. Your car is going to need new tires, your phone is going to crack, your dog is going to eat something stupid and need a vet visit. And if you don't have any cash sitting aside when these emergencies hit, you know what you're going to do? You're going to pull out that credit card you just paid off and go right back into debt. That's why before you go full beast mode on your debt snowball, you need to build a $1,000 starter emergency fund. Not $5,000, not 3 months of expenses, just $1,000. That's your buffer between you and life's chaos. Now, if you're living on a low income, you might be thinking, Matt, I can barely afford groceries. How am I supposed to save $1,000? Fair question. Here's how you do it in 2025 without selling a kidney. First, you're going to do a subscription audit. Pull up your bank statement and look at every recurring charge. I promise you, you've got subscriptions you forgot existed. That random meditation app you used once in 2023, gone. That premium tier on some dating app you're not even using, deleted. That Discord Nitro because you wanted a cool emoji, canceled. Most people can find $50 to $100 a month just by cutting digital clutter. Second, you're going to sell stuff. I'm not talking about your couch or your kidney. I'm talking about the junk cluttering your space. Old sneakers on Poshmark, electronics on eBay, furniture on Facebook Marketplace. You'd be shocked how fast you can make $300 to $500 by selling things you forgot you owned. Third, you're going to pick up extra hours or gig work. I know, you're already tired, but we're talking about a short-term sacrifice for long-term freedom. One extra shift a week for 2 months could get you that $1,000. A few Uber Eats deliveries on Saturday mornings, babysitting for a neighbor, dog walking through Rover. The gig economy is exhausting, but it's also flexible and you can use it strategically to hit this goal fast. Here's the thing, $1,000 sounds like a lot when you're broke. But when your car needs a $600 repair and you've got that $1,000 sitting there, you'll feel like a financial genius. You won't panic, you won't go back into debt, you'll pay for the repair, rebuild that $1,000 as fast as possible, and keep crushing your debt snowball. This is your safety net. This is what keeps you from falling back into the cycle. Build it first, then attack.
Step 5. Attack that smallest debt like your life depends on it. All right, here we go. You've listed your debts, you've got your $1,000 emergency fund. Now it's time to go absolutely nuclear on that smallest debt. Remember Cameron, the guy who tried the debt avalanche and quit? He made one critical mistake. He spread himself too thin. He was trying to make extra payments on multiple debts, trying to optimize interest rates, trying to be smart about it, and it burned him out. Here's what Maya did differently. She looked at that $890 Afterpay balance and said, "This is my only target. Everything else gets minimum payments. This debt is about to disappear." She cut her $8 latte habit and made coffee at home. That's $6 a day, $180 a month. She stopped ordering food on Uber Eats and meal prepped like her life depended on it. That saved another $200 a month. She deleted every single buy now, pay later app from her phone because seeing those apps was triggering her to spend. She picked up 2 extra Etsy orders by posting more on social media. She sold her old Apple Watch, some clothes she never wore, and a gaming console collecting dust. In 6 weeks, that $890 was gone, completely obliterated. And the dopamine hit she got from seeing that balance hit zero, that's what kept her going. She wasn't thinking about the $4,800 credit card debt anymore. She was laser focused on the next smallest balance, that $1,200 medical bill. This is the secret sauce of the debt snowball method. You're not trying to boil the ocean. You're not trying to tackle $18,000 all at once. You're picking off debts one by one, gaining momentum with each win, and that momentum becomes unstoppable. Meanwhile, Cameron, he's still juggling 5 different payment plans, watching his FanDuel balance like a caffeinated squirrel tracking acorns and wondering why he can't get ahead. He's spending $400 a month on sports betting apps convinced he's due for a big win, while his debt sits at $15,000 and his stress level is through the roof. The difference between Maya and Cameron isn't income. They make basically the same amount. The difference is focus. Maya attacked one debt at a time with the intensity of someone who wanted out of debt more than she wanted to look rich on Instagram. Cameron was distracted, overwhelmed, and trying to optimize his way to success instead of just executing a simple plan. So here's what you're going to do. Take every single extra dollar you can find. Side hustle money, tax refund, birthday cash, money from selling stuff, and throw it at your smallest debt. Keep making minimum payments on everything else. But that smallest debt, it's about to catch hands. And when it hits zero, you're going to feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Hope. You're going to realize that you're not stuck. You can actually do this. And that feeling is going to carry you through the next debt and the next and the next. Step 6. Snowball to the next debt. The magic happens here. Here's where the debt snowball method earns its name. Once you pay off that smallest debt, you take the entire amount you were putting toward it and roll it into the next smallest debt on your list. The snowball gets bigger. Your momentum accelerates. You start moving faster than you thought possible. Remember Maya? After she crushed that $890 Afterpay balance in 6 weeks, she was putting about $450 a month toward it. Now that it's gone, she doesn't pocket that $450. She doesn't celebrate with a shopping spree. She takes that entire $450 and adds it to the minimum payment she was making on her next smallest debt, a $1,200 medical bill. So now instead of paying $50 a month on the medical bill, she's suddenly paying $500 a month. That $1,200 balance? Gone in less than 3 months. Then she takes that $500 and rolls it into her next debt. Now she's putting $550 a month, knocked out in 3 months. Then $630 a month on the next one, gone in 5 months. Do you see what's happening? The snowball is getting bigger and bigger. The debts are falling faster and faster. What started as a slow grind turns into an avalanche of progress. By the time Maya got to her final debt, she was throwing $680 a month at it. It was gone in 7 months. Total time from start to finish, 19 months. From $16,000 in debt to completely debt-free. And here's the beautiful part. By 2026, Maya will have invested thousands of dollars. She'll be building wealth while Cameron is still trying to hit on his next FanDuel bet. This is the compounding momentum of the debt snowball method. You start small, gain confidence, and before you know it, you're moving at a pace that would have seemed impossible when you started. You're not just paying off debt, you're becoming a different person. Someone who doesn't panic when the credit card bill comes. Someone who has options. Someone who is free. But here's the part that makes or breaks everything, and most people miss this completely.
Step 7, stay debt-free forever. The part nobody talks about. Getting out of debt is hard. Staying out of debt is harder. Because the moment you pay off your last debt, something weird happens. You suddenly have an extra $680 a month that's not going toward debt anymore. And the temptation to treat yourself is going to hit you like a truck. You're going to see ads for that new iPhone, for concert tickets, for a weekend trip, and your brain is going to say, I deserve this. I just paid off all my debt. And if you're not careful, you're going to slide right back into the cycle. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent killer of financial freedom. Let me paint you a picture of 2026. By then, everything is going to be more expensive. Your rent, your groceries, your car insurance, it's all going up. And if you're not intentional about where that extra $680 a month goes, it's going to evaporate into micro subscriptions, impulse buys on Temu, and just one more $15 Chipotle burrito. Here's what Maya did. The moment she paid off her last debt in fall 2025, she didn't change her lifestyle at all. She kept living like she was still in debt payoff mode. She took that $680 a month and split it 3 ways. $250 to build her emergency fund from $1,000 to 3 months of expenses, $300 into a Roth IRA for retirement, and $130 into a guilt-free spending fund for things she actually enjoys. She's still not ordering $8 lattes every day. She's still not drowning in buy now, pay later traps. But she's also not miserable. She's building wealth, she's got a cushion, and she's got a little fun money for things that actually matter to her. Meanwhile, Cameron finally paid off one of his debts and immediately financed a new TV because it was on sale. He's back at square one, wondering why he can't get ahead, while his subscription list continues to grow and his sports betting habit keeps telling him he's almost there. The difference? Maya has a plan for her money. Cameron has a spending problem disguised as bad luck. So, here's your final step. Before you even finish your debt snowball, decide where that money is going after you're debt-free. Write it down. Make it a plan. Because if you don't tell your money where to go, it's going to disappear faster than your motivation to stick with this. Stay debt-free by staying intentional. That's how you win long-term. Look, paying off debt fast on a low income isn't easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires focus. It requires saying no to things your friends are saying yes to. But it's 100% possible, and the debt snowball method is the fastest, most proven way to do it. You can do this. I don't care if you're making $30,000 a year or $300,000 a year. The debt snowball method works because it works with your psychology, not against it. It gives you wins. It gives you hope. It gives you momentum. So before you go, drop a comment below and let me know. What city are you watching from? How old are you? And what's your biggest takeaway from this video? I read every single comment and I want to hear your story.
Let's build a community of people who are serious about getting debt-free fast, even on a low income. Now, go attack that debt. Your future self is going to thank you.